done this a couple times this season where we've said, no, this is the game of the year. No, this is the game of the year. Last week we said it about Ravens 49ers, and it more or less delivered if you're a Baltimore Ravens fan. Now, this is the game of the year. It's Dolphins, Ravens. Who can make a louder statement, though, do you think, in Week 17? Is it the team from Miami or the team in Baltimore?
Well, I look at the team from Baltimore, and the statement they made last week was loud and clear, as you talked about it, 1 versus 1, and they got the victory in dominating form, especially when you look at the defensive side of the ball. To me, this matchup is all about what the statement Miami Dolphins that they can make, because this is a Miami team that I think they feel like throughout this entire season, they've always been doubted from their quarterback on through. Everybody talks about Tua. No one says anything about him throughout the season as an MVP. Fans in Miami feel mad when you talk about comeback player of the year and they don't mention Tua Tagovailoa because of everything he went through last season with the concussions. When you talk about him as an MVP candidate, people are like, well, no, it is all Tyreek Hill. We heard Tua about a week ago talked about it. Hey, I suck. It is just the guys around me. That is the persona that the Miami Dolphins have taken on. And then this week for us as a show, I've gotten tweets all week long about our playoff predictions from way back when in training camp. Please show me the AFC playoff predictions that we made as a show.
It's too many words. Good.
A lot of words, yes.
Good.
But when you look at it, at the end of the day, as you look through those 4 beautiful faces on the left, the one team, the one word you will not see on the right are the Dolphins. Not one of us picked them to go into the playoffs. As at Dolphins Talk Tom has tweeted us this week to allow us and to remind us of our stupidity for not placing them in the playoff picture. Now imagine this, Sunday they go out there and they get a win. Not only do they clinch a playoff berth, but they have a chance to clinch the AFC East and also back in the #1 spot in the AFC, and we didn't have them in our playoff picture.
I think you're smart to get ahead of this because we've
coming.
received a lot of commentary.
It is what it is. Who cares? But you put your name on it, you show it, you live with it.
You're right.
Well, I'm with Jason on this. I think the statement that can be made the loudest is from the Miami Dolphins. You look at the teams that they've beat this year. They're 11-4, right? It's impressive, but they've only beat one team with a winning record. And that team that they beat was at home in Miami versus a team that is horrible on the road in the Dallas Cowboys. So this game is all about the Miami Dolphins. Last week, the Ravens spoke loud and clear, as Jason said. As a matter of fact, it sounded like they were yelling. So it's really nothing more they can do until they get to the playoffs. But for the Miami Dolphins, it's imperative, I think, not only to get this win for first place standings, but also for their confidence, for their swag. Like, to be able to go out and say, you know, we beat a legit team back-to-back weeks. What did the kids say? Riz, right? Yeah. You need your confidence, your swag, your Riz. All of those are elements of success. You need that moving forward. And the last thing is, you're facing a team that just bullied the bully. Yeah. How are you going to react when you get hit in the mouth? And that's what playoff football is all about. So for me, it's all about the Miami Dolphins this week.
It's like the Riz chair over there. Like,
That's
what's
it.
going on?
And
Kyle's big on the Riz.
Also, okay.
All about that word, too.
Yeah, I'm not going there.
You're not going with the playoff predictions. You're not going with Riz. Where are you taking us, Peter?
Bully ball is what I bully ball. The Ravens really probably made the loudest statement of any team all season on Monday night, and it's still fresh in our memories. Just yesterday we came on the show, and we're crowning Baltimore. What their defense did, 5 interceptions of a San Francisco offense that has been a highly just well-tuned machine that's just been going through everybody. It was such a loud statement that if the Dolphins can find a way to beat Baltimore in their building, I'm with you guys. It's Miami. It would be such a statement that it just shows you what 2023 the season is. Like I said to start this segment, if the Dolphins just win their final 2 games, they're the 1 seed. All that talk of Lamar MVP and all that talk literally yesterday of the Ravens being the best team in football. If the Dolphins beat Baltimore and then beat Buffalo, it's the Dolphins who are the 1 seed. And I'm curious to see how they match up with a team that plays bully ball. This offense is so high-powered and it's so flashy. I thought it was really cool that they won 22-20, had 5 field goals, and showed that they can win a close, low-scoring game last week. Can they do it again? I don't think this game is 43-41. I don't think this game is 35-31. I think you go into Baltimore, this game's in the 20s. And I think Tua doesn't throw turnovers like that Brock Purdy did on Monday. I give Miami a real shot here. But I think if they can beat Baltimore going into the playoffs, that's a real statement that not only can they beat one of the best teams, they can beat a bully, a team like that, and they can do it on the road.
Peter, was it you or Kyle this week that was reminding us that the Chiefs are the champions and it was you. Okay, so I think come week 17, we have to have some wiggle room for changing the measuring stick because what we've seen from the Kansas City Chiefs just has not been the championship caliber that we're used to. I think the Baltimore Ravens have now taken over the measuring stick mentality of the NFL. And by that I mean they have played several games this season where we're like, look out now, they're hosting the Lions. What do they do against the Lions? I was looking at the Ravens' best defensive efforts, their top 3 this season, and it oftentimes came against a team that was streaking at the time. So when they hosted the Lions, what did they do? They held them 38-6. That was unbelievable back in November. They hosted the Seahawks. What did they do to them? 37-3. And then this past weekend, the measuring stick game was against the San Francisco 49ers. To me, it's that statement of the Baltimore Ravens and how do they fare against what we as the national media has deemed, look out for this team. How are the Ravens going to handle their business? They have handled their business time and time again in the most important stretches of the season. And despite giving up 19 to the 49ers late in the season, that's not considering the fact that they had 5 picks, 4 sacks. Kyle Hamilton played out of his mind. I think the Ravens taking ownership of they have become the measuring stick in week 17. That is the stance and the place you want to be in the NFL as a team, whether it be in your conference or the NFL. So to me, it's the Baltimore Ravens in terms of the statement that they can make the loudest volume. Defensively, they've been so impressive.
And what I love about it is you talk about the statement, and Shrugs, you talk about bully ball. Patrick Queen, after their game, said teams are out here wanting to play basketball on grass, and we're not with all of that. So you take that from and that's the 49ers game.
I mean, the Dolphins are the basketball
And they
team.
are the basketball team. So when you talk about this game and this matchup and what it means and how these teams stack up against each other, you're fired up for this because the Miami Dolphins want to go out there and play that level. It's 3-on-2, 2-on-1 fast break drill back in the day when you were playing basketball. And Baltimore, between Queen and Roquan Smith, they're trying to come downhill and just smack you in the face. So to that point, I want to see this game just to see how it goes out, especially because it's in Baltimore. So when you talk about a basketball team playing on grass or whatever you want to identify the Miami Dolphins are, they're a fast team. That's the way they play, and it works. So I want to see how that stacks up against a team like the Baltimore Ravens.
Can I give a PSA to the audience now as we're doing this Wednesday to everyone at the table? Mike McDaniel.
Yes.
Get it.
Mike McDonald.
Yes.
Mike McDaniel is the offensive brain of the Miami Dolphins and the head coach, obviously. Mike McDonald is the defensive brain of the Baltimore Ravens, the defensive coordinator of the number 1 team in the league. So McDaniel, McDonald, they're both named Mike. 1 o'clock, CBS. Here we go.
Peter.
Clash of styles.
It
Here we
is.
go.
Yeah, Peter, we know the Mike McDaniel experience thus far. I think people are well-versed on where he came from, who he is.
Yep.
Quick 30 seconds on Mike McDonald.
Mike McDonald went to Georgia, then worked for the Ravens for like 6 years for John Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh plucks him from Baltimore and says, why don't you work for me for a year? He does that for 1 year. John Harbaugh takes him back. He's now in his 2nd year as defensive coordinator. He's like 38. He is very, very well regarded around the league and has been in the NFL and in college football. And maybe this is the year both Harbaughs are hoisting a Lombardi and a college football national championship.
That's a mouthful right there.
Interesting.
Wow.
Very interesting couple
a
of weeks for the
statement.
Harbaugh family.
putting it out
Is
there.
there a third Harbaugh brother?
There is
Okay.
Jay Harbaugh.
Jay
Look
Harbaugh.
at you.
Also, and
Yeah.
there is a father, and there's Jack, who we loved at Western Kentucky for many years.
Jack is a legend.
Yeah.
Love Jack.
Let's
Walking
go.
encyclopedia. You
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Jay Harbaugh